YouTube, what is going on? My name is Zugzwang, and I am bringing you guys another video. Surprisingly, there are not months between my videos, only about a few days, which is the hope. That's what I'm going to try to keep doing moving forward. Now, as the title of this video says, this is the state of Ultimate Team. I am the president of FIFA Ultimate Team land. If that were a place, I'm going to be giving my state of Ultimate Team address. So essentially, I'm just going to talk about what things I think we're doing well, as if I were at EA, what things we're doing well, what things can be improved on, and how everything is working in Ultimate. Now, the first thing I really want to talk about are squad building challenges. I think, in general, they've been a great addition to Ultimate. As you can see in the squad, and as you'll see in most of my FIFA videos, I will probably have some squad building challenges players. Quick note, if Raheem Sterling beats you on a header, you got more problems to worry about than your soccer playing ability, but because that is embarrassing. With squad building challenges, it's a fun way to collect unique and individual cards that are limited edition. And for whatever reason, the way my brain works is I have to have these cards. I have to have the limited edition cards. I have to have the cards that nobody else has. I don't know what it is. I've never had a preference for having the Bale or the Ronaldo or the Messi or any of the legends, besides Alexi Lalas and Landon Donovan, as I am American. But besides that, I've never had a yearning to have these top quality players that everybody else strives to get. I don't yearn to have that Cristiano Ronaldo, that Team of the Year card. I just play with the cards that I think are fun. And what EA has done by introducing squad building challenges is they've introduced a way for casual players to get those high-end cards in a sense. They may not be the most high-end, but since they're limited edition, they feel fancy and they feel high-end, and they make you feel like you have something rare that nobody else has. That's not why I have a bunch of the cards, but when I talk to a bunch of my friends about some of the cards they have, they're like, oh my gosh, you have Player of the Month Son? You have Player of the Month Sterling? That's so cool. I wish I did that when they were still up for challenge completion. And so it makes the person that does the challenge feel really good about themselves. At least I feel like it makes them feel really good about themselves, because I feel really good having all my cards. Now, that's one thing it does. Another thing it does is, at least the way they've distributed the cards, is that it gives more, not gives more cards to undeserving players, but it gives more cards to players who otherwise wouldn't get special items. Typically, most of the only special items are footies when a player is voted by the fans, or in other words, when they're extremely overpowered. This year, Ahmed Musa will get a card, N'Golo Kante will get a card, Jack Butland will get a card, Chris Smalling will get a card, Eric Bailly will get a card. All those extremely overpowered players will get a card. And that was the one way that wasn't based off real-life performance. The Team of the Season informs... What else? Team of the Season, Informs, Team of the Year are all based on real-life performance. But with the squad building challenge cards, you've seen players get awarded cards not necessarily for having good performances. We saw that with the Gareth Barry card, which I have, which unfortunately I took out for this game. Not unfortunately, I love the Emery Chan card, but I took him out of the game, or out of my squad. But that was a really nice card to have. Even though Gareth Barry isn't setting the world alight every week in the Premier League, it was fun for me to complete that player, and I've probably played over 60, 70 games with that Gareth Barry card. I love that card. It's a really fun card to use. Now, his 40 pace is a struggle. He's very slow in the midfield and kind of bulky and kind of awkward, but he does have some great tackling moments, great runs forward that he would occasionally. But that wasn't based off his real-life performance. That was based off him appearing 600 times in the Premier League, which is a fantastic achievement. So he got a card. We've seen with the Foot Miss, all of the Foot Miss cards, they all have gone to players that just happen to have the number on the day. They're obviously popular players that EA know will cause people to do the challenges. And some of the players do have inform cards and other special items, but it's not like that was the deciding factor in whether they got a card or not. I think that a bunch of the cards that did get SBC challenges won't get Team of the Seasons or informs. I don't think Emery Chan will get a Team of the Season. Daniela De Rossi, although he's fantastic, may not get a Team of the Season card. I could go on and on. Dele Alli might, but he hasn't been as good as he was last season for Tottenham Hotspur. So again, these cards aren't based off solely performance. So it means they kind of get more spread out, which I love because it gives more individual players, unique players, and I feel like they've done a decent job of spreading them out in between all the leagues. Even not in this squad, I have Player of the Year Mike Jensen from the Tippeligaen, which is the Norwegian league, and he got that off real-life performance, but it's another special card, an individual card, that's actually a really, really good card. He can't start on any team because of his links. But other than that, he's a fantastic card. The same thing goes with not all of the other cards, but a bunch of the other cards. Not the David Villa card, there was a center back that came out because he won Player of the Year in Swedish league. I can't remember at this current moment. Somebody might correct me, but there was another player that won that. Nobody would otherwise ever use his card, but because he got a special squad building challenge card, and people like me that love these challenges, and they're also very addicting, to be frank. They're very, very addicting, and they're very, very... I don't know what the word is, but I guess it's just addicting. The word's addicting. There's no other word to describe it than addicting. They cause players like me to sit down and hunker down and try to complete all of these challenges, which for me is really, really fun, and it also spreads out the players. The other thing it does is it's a market, not a stabilizer, but it prevents market crashes. And I think that's... I'm going to give EA credit here. I'm going to say they did that on purpose to prevent the market crashes. For a bunch of the challenges, they require informs or other items, other special items like Movember cards. Pause for 1 second. I thought that should have been at least a yellow card or a foul, not just a goal kick, but that was just me. They require special items like informs or high-rated cards or Movember cards or Ultimate Scream cards. And what they did is they allowed the market to be thinned out, because players would buy these cards and then submit them into the squad building challenges, meant that the cards that were submitted would never come out again. Specifically the special items, the informs that were out of packs would never come back again. And so it thinned out the market, and it prevented the market crash a little bit. Specifically with the higher rated cards, because higher rated cards went up in price during all of these squad building challenges. For example, cards that were worth 1k a week ago, not a week ago, but 1k about 2.5 weeks ago, we're selling for like 8k or 6k. A bunch of those 84 rated cards got a huge boost in price. And we saw it not necessarily during Black Friday, but during Black Friday there wasn't a huge market crash. Everyone was on Reddit and on all of these forums saying, oh, when is the market crash gonna hit? When is the market gonna blow itself up? And it never happened. It didn't really happen. In fact, the biggest dip in the market was just the steady decline right before Black Friday, and then right after Black Friday, prices all rebounded. So it was a really interesting thing to watch in the market. In my opinion, a big reason for that has been the squad building challenges. They've kept prices of players higher, and they've prevented rapid deflation of cards, which for a market sense is a good thing for the overall health of the market. But I would prefer the rapid deflation because it makes cards cheaper. And as somebody who plays the game more, it typically means for traders it's a lot harder to make money. But it's not harder for me to buy the cards I want. Now, traders have had a glorious scenario because they've been able to predict certain events happening with squad building challenges and to make huge boatloads of coins because they've been able to predict certain marquee matchups that have happened. If you don't know what marquee matchups are, they are a squad building challenge that is released weekly, and there's 4 of them, and they are based off the 4 of the biggest games around the world, professional, like actual real life games. Great finish there from Dimitri Payet. Bit opportunistic, but I like it. They're based off the 4 games, and traders would anticipate which games 5 players early in the week, or even a week in advance, store those players, hope their match gets picked, and then see their players' prices skyrocket, and then sell them for profit. We saw that with the Player of the Month squad building challenges. With the Hunmin Sun challenge, we saw players buy and anticipate, say, hey, what can EA do here? And people bought boatloads of Korean players and then sold the Korean players for huge amounts of profit. We saw the same thing with the Player of the Month Hazard card. We saw people stash up on Belgian informs and Belgian cards and let those Belgian cards free. Made huge amounts of profit. We saw, not as much with the MLS MVP, but we saw a little bit of it with MLS MVP. But traders have been able to anticipate and then flood the market with their cards and make huge amounts of profit. Which I think is I don't mind, but I think what's happened is the market, it's not a casual friendly market. The market, specifically because of the foot miss squad building challenges, has been crazy expensive for cards that otherwise just wouldn't be expensive. So it is what it is, but I think if you're a trader, you're loving the game right now. You are living for it, because if you can predict things, it is a great time to live in. In my opinion, a surefire way to make coins is going to be buying discard price informs when no squad building challenge is out. Not totally discard, but like cards that are like 84 rated that might be around discard, buying those and then waiting for a squad building challenge. I think that's going to be a surefire way to make coins in the future. But I think as a whole, squad building challenges have been an amazing addition, and I actually really appreciate the effort that went into them and the constant updating that goes along with them. And then there have been flaws. There have been times where EA asked for way too much of the players, and in turn nobody did the squad building challenges, and EA learns from that. And you've seen directly, specifically with Foot Miss, they put out super expensive cards, players didn't try to get those cards, and then the next day they all lowered the prices. So it's been, or they can't directly lower the prices, but they lower the requirements for the challenges. Now, moving on, I think Foot Champions in general, I think has been a very good addition. It rewards players based on their ability, which I think is great. I think that there's a great mechanic in-game that rewards players based on their ability. The one thing about Foot Champions, though, is that it's the most cancerous environment of nearly any game I've played. People are constantly trying to abuse the mechanics of the game, or just being overall toxic people and sending nasty hate messages afterwards. And some of these things are just absolutely repulsive, and I hate that anybody would ever have to read some of the messages that are sent. It's really brought out the worst in the community. But with that being said, great rewards have been brought in, rewarding people really well, and offering really cool items to people that do play well and do well in the weekend league. It also has kind of counteracted the squad building challenges, because for all of the informs that get released through the, or not through, let me rephrase this. For all the informs that get taken away from the squad building challenges, the Foot Champions rewards floods the market with more informs. So it doesn't totally counteract each other, but it's one of the ways that kind of counteracted each other. I think general Foot Champions has been a good idea. I think they should rework the qualifying requirements a little bit. I've only played one FUT Champions weekend, and I did pretty well. I think I played about 30 games, and I think I won about 15 or 16, which for me, my first time and kind of getting used to it, I thought was pretty decent. I think I got Silver 1, or Silver 2, one of those two. And I was happy with my performance. I thought I did pretty well. And I think my reward was actually pretty good, and then my monthly reward is a bronze player that I probably won't ever use, but he has 5-star skills, and that was a nice little thing. But I think the requirements are harsh every week, and I would encourage them to have a squad building challenge that maybe gives a free weekend league token to a player who might not be able to work their way and win their way in. I think most of the time, if I actually used up all my tries every week, I could definitely get in, but I just don't have the time. As you've seen in this game, as this game went on, this kid got really reckless and he just got frustrated, I think, and just started sliding at everything. A lot of bad tackles. But back to FUT Champions, I still want more rewards for the casual player. I'm not a casual player by any means, but I feel as though many casual players get kind of left out to dry because they can't qualify for the weekend league. A player who is in Division 7 or Division 8 has no ability to win 4 straight games in one of the knockout tournaments versus competition that is far superior than what they're used to playing against and getting into the weekend league. There's just no way for them to do it. So I would encourage EA specifically to give rewards to the common player, make squad building challenges that are easy to complete, I would say, that anybody can do. And the rewards don't have to be great, but just giving something to the average player. I realize there's still a lot more I want to talk about, so maybe I'll make a second video, but I feel like for how much of the new stuff that has come in, I feel like I addressed a lot of it. I'll probably have more thoughts that'll come to later. But it's been a really nice time just talking about how I feel the state of things are. And if you enjoyed it, please give a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thank you.